Hey everyone, this is Mike, and a few days ago the channel finally hit 5,000 subscribers, which I thought was quite a milestone. So I wanted to make kind of a special video for that, and I didn't necessarily know what to do at first. I wanted to do some kind of a setup video, but I thought it might just be a little bit boring seeing what I'm using, all that kind of stuff. So instead I decided to do some kind of a man cave tour, so to speak. Because of course with coronavirus everybody's kind of stuck indoors, so I thought I'd kind of show you around my man cave, so to speak, so I can basically stay indoors and still enjoy myself. Now, as the first time I'm using this phone, like I'm probably gonna look at the screen real quick a couple of times, because it's kind of weird, like the camera is over there, kind of, but then the screen is there, so hopefully the sound quality and the video quality is good enough, because I've never used this phone to record before, because, well, you know, I don't really do vlogs and that kind of stuff. But I decided to try it anyways, so let's just flip the camera and then I can basically show you around the room, so to speak. So here we have the man cave. Now, as you can see, of course, I do have quite a bit of books, like you can see some over there. But then here on the wall is actually where there's the most part. So whenever I'm streaming, you can usually see those books over there. But everything else, like, you can't really see that. So actually, I do like to read quite a bit. Usually whenever I like wake up, one of my morning rituals is like open up all of my social media stuff like YouTube, Facebook, Reddit, whatever else is there, like read my emails and that kind of stuff. But I also always open Webtoon, which is linewebtoon.com, I believe, where I basically, like every day, I basically have some kind of thing to read, which is quite fun. And then right now, because of the quarantine stuff, I haven't really got much time to head outside of the house and that kind of stuff. And because the weather has been so nice, I've actually started reading Death Note again, as you can see over there. Currently in book number 3, do quite enjoying that series again. I'll probably read up to halfway point, which people that have read Death Note will probably know why I'm going to be stopping there. But yeah, so reading that again. These over here, Shaman King, these are the ones that started it all, like a good 15 years ago or something, like when I was like 7, 8 years old. My mom gave me one of these, and these are the ones that started everything. And since then, I have acquired quite the collection. As you can see, we've got some more over there. And then, of course, over on the wall over there as well, if the brightness wants to adjust. There we go. And then also Bakuman and my little automatone, because I used to be quite musical, if that's even a word, I don't know. Because I used to play the piano quite a lot. As you can see, I have one in my room as well. I used to play this thing quite a bit, but nowadays I don't really play it that much anymore, because I'm pretty busy with all of this YouTube stuff and then like playing games, keeping up with esports and that kind of stuff. So this thing doesn't get as much playtime as it used to anymore, so I would like to get back into it at some point. I used to be able to play like a bunch of the Final Fantasy songs as well, which maybe at some point I'll try again or something like that, to practice some of those songs again, because I do quite enjoy playing the piano every now and then. Now, another item that I don't really use that much anymore is this thing right here. Now, this is a Wacom tablet, which I used to be really into art and that kind of stuff. Back when I was in school, I had like art classes for I think about 3 years or something like that. And one of the things I really liked doing was digital art. Now, at first, I bought this thing right here, which is a Intuos. I believe that's an Intuos. And that's what I used to draw on the computer at first. Nowadays, that thing only really gets used whenever I play Os or Osu, if you want to call it like that. Because like that game does play a lot better with a tablet, but nowadays if I want to draw something on the computer, that is pretty much what I'm going to be using. Again, don't use it as much anymore as I wanted to, because I'm busy with other stuff, but every now and then I do still take this out to draw some stuff, and I do quite enjoying it. And then of course, I also defeated Yojimbo back in FanFest early last year, I think it was at this point. No t-shirts, unfortunately enough, but I did get a sticker, I guess. So that kind of makes up for it. Now, of course, the big item for today is going to be the setup itself, which, as you can see, I've got quite a bit of stuff. So I'm gonna put my chair away a little bit so that I can kind of move in, so to speak. And this is kind of everything. So I've got my PC over here. This thing is way too big, by the way. I'll put a picture on screen real quick. Now, I wanted to water cool my PC, and when I went and bought out all of the custom loop stuff and I did some test fitting and that kind of stuff, I thought it was gonna be fine. But then all of a sudden, the case I was using, where I was planning on putting the reservoir, the problem was that I couldn't actually take out the partition that I thought I could take out and then put the reservoir in place. So I had to buy a new case. This thing ended up being a tiny bit too big. I'll put a picture on screen as well. I can fit inside the box that this thing came in, and I am not a tiny guy. Well, I'm average size, I guess you could say, but I'm basically not a tiny dude, and I could fit in there with ease. So yeah, PC is way too big. Really happy that I bought it though, because all of the water cooling and stuff has been pretty easy to maintain and all of that stuff, and I'm really happy with the temperatures and all of that kind of stuff attached to it as well. For the microphone, we have the Blue Yeti. This thing is like 5-6 years old at this point. Really happy with that purchase. I also got this little like boom arm thingy, so that basically whenever I'm like meshing my keyboard, you're not hearing all of those vibrations through the microphone, so to speak. And I can also like just maneuver this around wherever I want. So pretty useful thingy. Now these things that you can see here in the back, these are actually called disc plates, and the really cool thing about them is that they're metal plates that you attach to a magnet. So there's basically 3 magnets behind there on the wall that these disc plates are attached to. So if I ever get tired of seeing these, then I can just take them off, buy a new disc plate, and put that one on there on the wall, and kind of just replace it. So it's really cool. We have Natsu from Fairy Tail, then we have Zuko from Avatar The Last Airbender, and then we have Kira from Hunter x Hunter, I believe. Now, I basically just bought this one because I was like, I want 3, and I really like the design of all of these, like the gray, black, and then the red. And I needed the 3rd one. I was like, oh, that guy looks really cool. I was gonna buy this one. I never watched Hunter x Hunter, because nowadays I don't really watch anime anymore. I just read books, as you can probably tell. But yeah, maybe one day I'll watch some anime again. Maybe I'll watch Hunter x Hunter at some point as well. Now, when it comes down to the setup itself, my screen's actually turned off, so let me just poke my mouse a bit. It's actually relatively simple. Like, of course, the main monitor is there for my usual gaming or like browsing stuff. Like, for example, you can see that what's it called again? Fashion Report is up today, so I'm going to be doing that later, probably when this video is rendering or something. And then on the left side, that's where all my social media is. So like, you can see my Discord, my Spotify, and then, for example, when I'm streaming, that's also where the chat will be open and that kind of stuff. Down here, we have my 2 speakers. These things I love. Because when I'm always wearing my headset, this one's quite heavy. This is an Astro A40, great headset by the way. But yeah, like when you're wearing it for like a full day, you get like those hair band thingies. I didn't really want that, so I just basically bought these speakers whenever I'm not chatting with people, and quite enjoying those. Now when it comes down to like keyboard and mouse, nothing special. The mouse does have a bunch of buttons on the side. Mainly bought that for Final Fantasy purposes, of course. Because I do like to play with my mouse so that I don't basically break my keyboard in my left hand or something like that. Now behind here is where I've stashed my consoles. So I've got my Xbox 360 and my PlayStation 4 down there. The Xbox is currently not hooked up because I haven't really played the Xbox at all. It's just kind of sitting there collecting dust, I guess you could say. But the PlayStation actually hooked up again yesterday because a friend of mine, Rosen, he's been basically pushing me to buy Final Fantasy VII Remake for basically since it came out, and yesterday evening I finally decided to give in. So I hooked up this thing through my Elgato so I can play it on my PC, so I don't have to like switch around screens and audio inputs and that kind of stuff. So yeah, PlayStation 4 is gonna see some use again with the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I'm gonna play once this video is uploaded, basically, because so far I'm really enjoying that game. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. We also, oh, another cool thing, by the way, let me move the chair around again, is this thing down here. This is the Ages of Dota 2. It's one of the, I think it's like 4 years ago at this point. But basically, if you had the battle pass for the international and you got far enough into the levels, then you can basically get one for yourself. And then each year is a different color. I only have one, of course, since I don't play much Dota anymore, but it's still a quite a nice thing to have, kind of like a little trinket or something like that. And last but not least, if you've ever wondered why my name is Ilya, is because of this guy. Really like this guy's art. I bought the book as well. This guy does some really cool stuff, and his name is Ilya Kushvinov. So this is where I got the name Ilya from, basically. So if you've ever wondered where that name comes from, now you know it's from that guy. So that is pretty much that. That is like a tour of my man cave. That is what I spent most of my time in. As you can see, it's actually quite bright with that light down there. But yeah, so we have my PC, we have all of my books. I have my piano if I ever feel like touching that thing again. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff I can do here with the quarantine and the lockdown. I basically have a lot of stuff that I can still do here in my room itself. Of course, playing a lot of video games because I just want to make videos about them as well because I'm enjoying myself quite a bit doing all of that kind of stuff. Never really expected it to kind of blow up as much as it did over the last few months. But really enjoying myself. Hopefully I can keep doing this for the foreseeable future as well. Because YouTube finally gave me a partnership as well. So if you're seeing advertisements and that kind of stuff lately, That is why basically as well that you are seeing those now. So really happy that I've been able to do this. It's all because of you guys as well, because if you're not subscribing, watching, liking, all of that kind of stuff, then this wouldn't really be possible, so to speak. So I really want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank my patrons for their support as well, because they're all making this possible as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one.